I got my diagnosis on a Monday at 6 p.m. And by Thursday morning, I was on the operating table. I didn't know what kind of operation I was going to have. I didn't know if I was going to wake up. I didn't even think about if I'd still have my breast. I couldn't think about whether or not I'd have breast when I woke up. It wasn't registering. I couldn't process it. My head was spinning like you wouldn't believe. I was in a daze.
I went to see my doctor, and he advised me to have a mammogram. And he told me that, don't you worry, it's just a cyst. And it's probably like when you have your ovulation. It might be that, and not to worry, but we'll monitor it once a year. You know, he told me everything is fine. I'm only 38.
C'était il y a 3 ans. Je trouvais un petit kyste.
3 years ago, I found a small cyst. So I went to see my GP. And she told me, it's a cyst. It's not a big deal. I was too young. Then this past July, I noticed the same cyst was back. As soon as I got back from vacation, I went to see my doctor. My allergist had become my family doctor because I could never get in to see my actual family doctor. But with the allergist, I could get an appointment right away. When he saw me, he immediately referred me to the Ville-Marie Breast Clinic. He said it would be much faster.
And it was.
We had to pay for the test, but it was important I be seen as soon as possible. I put it on my credit card.
It's about 6-7 months when I start touching my mammal, and I had a discharge coming out on the left side. I waited like maybe 2-3 months before I told my husband, before I told anyone. That was the biggest mistake I did, because I should have said at first, but I didn't. Maybe there's a lot of women out there doing the same mistake.
My intuition is strong, but I still don't follow it as much as I should. If I'd listened to my intuition, I knew the lump was suspicious. I'd have gone to see someone else. Always get a second opinion. I'm convinced of that now. Always get 2 opinions. If they had found it a little earlier, things might have been simpler.
It was the highest grade of tumor.
The most malignant, grade 3, which is the highest grade, and very aggressive, infiltrating. But if the biopsy would have been right the first time, I would have had only 1 operation, not 2.
In my opinion, the situation is an extremely serious one. Professionals in other fields are subject to disciplinary action. In the medical field, they're allowed to make mistakes.
It's nerve-wracking, wondering what the diagnosis will be, wondering what they'll decide to do, and to what extent it will affect my life. It's not just the operation. I have to live with it afterward.
Based on the results of the MRI and the ultrasound, the cancer in the right breast covers a fairly large area. It's about half the size of the breast in the upper inner and lower inner quadrants. One of the tumors we biopsied is invasive. The other one is non-invasive. In terms of surgery, we'll have to remove all the malignant breast tissue because we can't go after one tumor or multiple tumors by way of a tumorectomy. We have to take it all out to ensure the margins are safe. So on the right, I'm pretty sure you'll need a full mastectomy. The left will depend on the biopsy results. If we find another cancer on the left, I'd strongly recommend you have both breasts removed. If we do a total mastectomy, we can avoid radiation therapy.
And chemo?
Whether or not we do a total mastectomy doesn't change anything. It won't affect our decision about chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is a systemic treatment that prevents the formation of metastases elsewhere in the body. We'll take good care of you.
I don't want to live like that. I'm a woman.
It'll be fine.
I'm not strong enough. I know myself. I've been through quite a lot in my life. I know my limits. People always say you're stronger than you think, but I don't think I am. Both of us need to stay strong, right? Without him, I don't know what I would have done. My parents don't live here, so I don't have anyone else but him.
It's unbelievable. I told my doctor, I said, what, we're supposed to get our first mammograms at 50 years old. Meanwhile, everybody I met was under 40. Okay. So I don't understand why, why we don't get tested younger. If I would have waited until I was 50 to get tested, I wouldn't be here today.
I never thought it would be me. You never think it'll be you. You come into a foreign country and you don't know the language, you don't know the lingo. You don't know what questions to ask. You don't know where the pitfalls are. You don't know where's safe, where it's not safe to be at night. And you just have a whole team that's basically telling you, okay, this is what's going to happen. This is what to watch for. We're going to do this. I'm really impressed. I think I'm glad that I'm not working because I can focus on this completely.
I can find it. Boy, oh, there it is, look. This is where Mommy was born. This is Algeria. I was born here. And when I was a little baby, we went to France. That's where your granddaddy is from. My daddy is from France. And then from France, we went to where it's really cold. Canada. That's right. Canada. Yeah. When you first get diagnosed, no, you don't want to talk to anybody because you yourself can't believe it. First, you get very scared, and then you get sad. You have to go through the emotions, and then you get angry. So it's better not to tell anybody. It's better first to deal with it, and then and do the research and know what kind, what stage you're at, and then when you're ready, then you talk about it or tell someone. You're gonna have a mastectomy, you're gonna do chemotherapy, you're gonna do radiation, you're gonna take tamoxifen for 2 years, and then you're gonna take Femera. Your hair's gonna fall out, and you might be short of breath, and your heart, and I mean, it's so much information.
Can you share some of your story with us, Kathleen? You're a role model for many.
Well, it all started when I was 3.5, and I developed Hodgkin's lymphoma. After that, I went into remission. Then at 17, I found out I had thyroid cancer. I managed to beat that, too, with more treatments. Then at 28, I got breast cancer. More treatments. But 2 months after the chemotherapy, I found out the cancer had spread to my bones. So we did all sorts of other treatments. That's when I changed the way I eat.
Was it hard to do?
No, my mind was made up. That was that. When you eat better, you feel better. I've learned that.
This is one strong young lady.
3 jours après notre premier rendez-vous.
3 days after our first date, we were at an exhibit, strolling along, holding hands, having a great time. It was still brand new. We had a love-struck look in our eyes. I was walking on air. I thought she was so beautiful. But I sensed she was holding back a little. Something was bothering her. That's when she told me, "Hold on, there's something I have to tell you. I've had cancer. I might not ever be able to have children." She wanted to tell me in case it put me off. But it didn't put me off at all. The only thing I said was, "Stop. Don't say anymore. I don't care. I love you. That doesn't matter. Cancer doesn't scare me." From that moment on, it was like a huge weight was lifted, and we could move forward with our relationship.
I needed you to know. It means a lot of things.
I could feel it was weighing on you. I didn't care. It's not a problem. Love is stronger than anything.
Smile, smile to me, souris et serre-moi pour la 100e fois. Love tellement que mon cœur bat plus, le tien a trop rentré dedans.
When the doctor had bad news about the cancer in her bones, Kathleen said it was like a veil dropped over her. She couldn't hear or see anything. Everything was jumbled. But I was right there beside her. I was a little jumbled too, but I was in a better position to pull myself together and listen to the diagnosis, what was happening, what we were going to do. And even though the prognosis was really bleak, and the doctor said, "You only have a few years left," it's not true. We'll do something else. We'll do more. We'll get through this. We'll go to the hospital. The doctors will give you radiation therapy, and we'll look into special diets. It'll all work out. I keep telling myself it'll be all right.
Hey, ma taxe.
It's starting to grow a little, but it's still not enough.
I was so sure it could never happen to me. I was so sure. Because I'm healthy, I'm a vegetarian, I exercise every day, this, da, 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 da. But you know what? When you have it in your heredity, it doesn't matter. You're prone to getting it. So of course they did the lumpectomy, because at first you're like, oh, take just a little, because you know it's all new. So you're like, don't take too much, just take the thing out. So we had the surgery, and of course after the pathology report, which was, you know, grade 3, the highest malignancy and the most aggressive tumor, I had to go for another surgery to take off more breast. That was February 2nd. Meanwhile, I mean, I'm still working and everything and riding my horses and everything. And even then, I was not more... The doctor was like, listen, you have cancer.
Get your priorities
Do you want
here.
to live? We're trying to keep you alive.
Yeah.
And I was like, Mom,
okay.
Look how he talked to me. Like, he's so mean, you know? And my mother was like, you look like you're shopping for shoes, you know? This is serious. But I was not getting it yet.
I always think that, you know, it just takes one escaping cell, just one little itty-bitty escaping cell. And it'll go somewhere and it'll attach itself to one of your soft organs or something. And you know what? My thing is, do it, cut them off, lop them off, get rid of them, sew me up, send me home, that's it, that's all. I mean, I am so much more than the sum of my breasts.
Avec le cancer, plusieurs d'entre nous se retrouvent mutilés.
Cancer leaves many women mutilated. One of the hardest things I've ever experienced was the day they took the bandages off. I was undergoing chemo at the same time, So I didn't have any hair anywhere on my body. You stand squarely in front of a mirror and look at yourself, and for the first time, you see who you are. You discover your body, you discover your thoughts, you discover your emotions. And for me, it was a shock. Well, not a shock, but more like a truth that leapt out at me. Personally, I found it very hard to accept, to realize I don't recognize myself. I don't know who I am.
Amba, ça veut dire source. Source.
Amba means source. My daughter had this framed and sent it to me as a gift. Even if we lived at opposite ends of the world, we'll always be together like we are here. I love you, Joël. That touched me very, very deeply. It did. I raised her alone for a long time. When she was 13, she went to live with her dad. And because she was a teenager, she was full of resentment and conflict. Her father didn't try to make things better. I think that psychologically, it hurt me a great deal and speeded up something that was already inside me. They say we all have cancer, but in some people, it just never develops. That's all.
Amba is a very positive person. That's important in the healing process. You can never give up. You have to keep your spirits up and have faith that you can be completely cured.
Between May and September, I did alternative treatments, energy work. I tried all sorts of remedies, juices, vitamins, exercises, even a chlorine-based solution.
I suggested fasting because drinking nothing but water helps to detoxify the body, and colonic irrigation because it's very important to eliminate toxins from the colon. I have pictures in color of what can come out of the colon.
The first place I went to, the Royal Victoria Hospital, the doctor reacted badly. She yelled at me.
I think chemo is a bad idea. It makes people even sicker. I've seen people be cured of generalized cancer. They had tumors everywhere, and they had 2 or 3 months to live. They overcame it and were healed. They regenerated all their cells.
But I think it's progressing at a much slower pace than if I'd done nothing. Like my fast, for example. Okay, I lost weight, but I felt strong. By the 3rd week, I was singing and dancing. I was full of energy. It blew people away. My next appointment is on November 5th. They'll tell me which cocktail they want me to take, but I haven't made up my mind yet.
Gabriel, Mommy's hair is growing. Look. Hair grow. My hair is growing. I love you. Okay, here we go. My father refused chemotherapy and did naturopathy, natural medicine. He was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and he passed away. It went to the bones, and he didn't make it. And when I hear people... That's why I think you've got to do the chemotherapy and radiation, because you can't fight cancer with natural medicine, you know. It's not a cold, it's cancer. So, you know, as much as, you don't want to do it, you have to. And if you don't, well, then you got to suffer the consequences, which could be fatal. That's it.
The end.
The end.
Okay?
Oh, yeah. Can't believe it's over. To think how scared I was at the beginning. And now it's like...
No, it's okay. It's okay. Okay, so I was diagnosed August 19th, and September 15th, I was having my breasts removed, but the doctor wanted to do a lumpectomy.
And I had 9 cancers in my family already, and 4 of them were breast cancer. So I said, no lumpectomy. I don't like that. Because how many times do you hear of a woman getting a lumpectomy and then it comes back? Or so I said, no, both of them off. Like, these are lighter. I like them better because the other ones were very heavy. I was a 44 double D, and I was always like, look at me sitting up straight now.
Okay, when I was doing my chemo, you know, they bring the big booklet. You'll get a big book, and it's all about you. And and I was always looking at it and reading all the reports and the pathology. I was spending hours on it, so I became quite knowledgeable in tumor. So
look
you
at
had
me sitting here with my breast in hand because I hadn't finished.
I'm the blonde one, but I'm the smart one, really. You know.
Did she just say that? Listen, I didn't tell you the.
Hey, you didn't tell me how you like my hair.
I did, didn't I? I love your hair. It's a wig!
Get out.
No, get out. It looks just like your hair. Get out.
My
That's
hair's
amazing.
been growing back.
Oh my gosh. Oh, sweetie. Oh, I feel like crying. This is what I'm gonna look like. I didn't dread the double mastectomy or even the lymph nodes like I've dreaded this, because I think with the double mastectomy, they're taking bad stuff out of your body, and this, they're putting chemicals into your body, and nobody feels good about that. I have no family. That's what's making this really hard. Yeah, no siblings, parents are gone, all my aunts and uncles are gone. That's what's making this tough. I want you to know that jeans, these jeans, particular jeans, they weigh 20 pounds. Okay. That's a lie.
Should I make it less?
Yes. Less. Should you make it less? You want me to make? I think I've got one more. Oh. Yeah, put your arm down. Great. Oh, that's okay. It's all secure. Okay, so young and the breast. Just for the record, this sucks.
So I usually start off with my patients and asking them what they know about their illness and why they're receiving chemotherapy.
Are you telling me you're going to die in 3 months?
Not at all.
I thought it was like a code.
Not at all.
So then I know it's grade 3, which was the most aggressive cancer. It's stage 2. So that stage 1 would be just breast, but stage 2 is with lymph node involvement.
So you know quite a bit.
So I know. I'm not afraid to die, but I don't want to go until I feel like I've got some things that I've accomplished.
Yeah, help people.
Yeah, it's nice. It's fun to help people.
Learning I had breast cancer was hard. My cousin came with me. She lost her mother to breast cancer, so that was big.
I'd never ever leave her side. I'm there for every exam, every x-ray, every treatment. The radioactive treatments and CT scans are very dangerous. When we go, they say, you have to leave. The radiation is dangerous. I say, you don't understand. I'm staying with her. You say it's dangerous for me? Well, what about her?
All you can think about is that you can't move. My teeth would hurt sometimes. The radiation would get sent through my mouth.
Through the back of her head and straight through her mouth.
It was pretty crazy.
It can melt your fillings.
Plus, they put a mask on you and strap you to a table because you can't even move your head a millimeter. For someone like me who's claustrophobic, it's hard.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But I had a great team. The radiation therapists, they know me. I'm practically part of the team. I've been there so often. They're wonderful. They keep me calm. And Tony would talk to me.
I was always in the back in the control room.
He would talk to me from there.
I'd go into the control room and watch Kathleen on the little screen and say, okay, it looks good. Everything's ready. Let's do this. I do that to keep your spirits up.
It's quick.
Nobody else ever does that.
So I was told it was a result of the AC accumulation, but I think it's also the Taxol. So I have to see the oncologist tomorrow. We'll talk about it again, but I have 2 left. All I want to do is get them over with. Just finish it up. I don't care. I now know what's ahead of me. Just finish it.
Don't you find it's weird, like if you're on a bus or you're out in public and you're walking around thinking, I have cancer, I have cancer, I have cancer, and nobody knows you do. Everyone's just like doing their thing, and you're thinking there should be some sort of sign on me, like, you know, be nice to me. I'm just like, don't yell at me, don't push me, don't cross me. And I thought, if a policeman comes and pulls me over, man, I feel sorry for him. I'm gonna go, look at this! I just had surgery, leave me alone, you know? And I'm just like,
No, but look, for winter.
so cool. And then if you're on the plane and you want to sleep. H1N1. And then the shoulder pads, I heard their shoulder pads are there.
Shoulder pads are in for spring.
If you're with a man and he's about to play soccer, you loan him one. If you have hemorrhoids, they're very cushiony, very cushiony. Oh, and I figure if some guy hits on me, I don't like it, I could put one there, one there. And say, so, would you like to go out sometime? And he'll go, no.
You know, my agents were at first like they didn't want to tell anybody, but you know, when I get into hair and makeup now, of course I have to tell them, look, I have a wig on and I'm wearing fake eyelashes because I don't have any eyelashes left. They know, I tell them, and they're okay, but if they don't see me and they hear I have cancer, they may think, she's gonna die, she's finished, she's... Thank God the horses don't care if you don't have eyelashes and...
Well, actually, you know, at the end of the day, I don't think anybody cares. It's a lot how we feel about ourselves.
The chemo was leading my life, but in a very good way, because I remember I even did my garden, a big, big garden. And then I said, well, how did I do it? How did I do it? But I didn't want it to just sit in a corner and be unhappy. No, I was going around. I was bald. I lost all my hair, and I felt beautiful.
Yeah, it's kind of stage 3. But who cares? I'm thin. That's what counts. I'm thin and I'm beautiful. Look at my hair. Whoa!
I love the color of this one, and I love the style too. This one's shinier.
See, if you go behind the ear, then
it always looks good behind the ears.
It's a little bit better on you. Once I don't have these at all.
Do you want to keep this one longer since that one's a bit shorter? What do you think?
I just don't think it looks good long.
Okay.
So yesterday, it was pretty gross seeing my hair falling out everywhere, and I couldn't sleep last night. So around 3 a.m., I got up, I took the kitchen scissors, I sat right here, and I cut it all off just by feel, so I wouldn't have to see it. I figured it would be easier if I wasn't looking in the mirror, so I cut by feel. Then when I looked in the mirror, it didn't look all that bad. So I didn't cry as I thought I would.
Oh. At the end of my chemo, I must say that there was times where I was a bit harder, but I didn't let. And I'm so lucky because I don't think I would have been this way without the horses. I mean, there were some days I could barely ride. I could just stay on, barely stay on, but that was something that I'm very blessed that I have this in my life.
It really got to me. Nobody deserves that. I was really surprised. Yesterday, we went out to eat downtown, and she said, Diane, it's hard for me to go up the stairs at my place. I said, what? And you're going riding? She said, yeah, that doesn't hurt.
Good boy. Good boy. Okay, that's it. know, when you have cancer, a lot of friends disappear. But Jan and Karen were always there calling, oh, you okay? You need this, you need that. How did it go today? We're gonna brush you later. Sometimes I'm thinking, oh, I escape too much. This is like, I should be more, you know, that's what you do. You try to reconnect. Now I cannot have children anymore because of the chemo killed my my ovaries. I'm looking forward to, you know, having hair, just hair.
You have eyelashes now.
Little tiny eyelashes. And my eyebrows have started to grow, but
nowhere else. It's like...
That's good, you're saving money.
Well, if I wanted to try a Brazilian, now I know what it is.
Kissy, look, Kissy. Can I have Kissy? Oh, I love you so much. Oh, I love you. I did in vitro fertilization to have my daughters. I just wanted a baby. I didn't do any research. I was really gung-ho. I wanted to have a baby, and I believe that there's a link between in vitro fertilization and breast cancer. Women who decide to do in vitro fertilization should really educate themselves and know the risks. I just wish I would have known more.
Dr. Kaiser is ready to see you. So you can come in.
Thank you.
When you have your menstrual cycle, there's 12 eggs in 1 year. I did 22 in 10 days. I wanted to ask you, do you think there's a link between breast cancer and IVF?
As much as it appears that would be intuitive, that you would think that there would be a link, the studies have not been able to show that. While we don't have scientific proof, undeniable proof that would impede somebody getting IVF because they're worried about getting breast cancer, obviously any hormonal manipulation is not recommended unless there's a reason to do so. If you're going to do IVF, it's because that is the last option one has in that particular case. And since there are studies to suggest that that is a safe thing to do, we'll use the same argument for a patient going through difficult menopause. Don't use it if you don't have to. So I would say to a patient, I can't scientifically tell you that there is a definite link there, and I can show you studies that are larger than the ones that show it linking, that show no link.
I think you're right. I think that as this information emerges, it has to be part of the consenting process. Because everything we do has consequences. And these are long-term consequences, late consequences, not immediately after, but even years after.
If I would have known a lot more about in vitro, I wouldn't have done it. I would have had somebody else carry my child for me.